Okay, I'm in Tomahawk, and there's this one show that I watched called Qatarvi, and it was in Qatarvi where they had the drought of a never seen a drought like that in 100 years, and it's in Tanzania, so it's in Africa, and where the lions and alligators and hippos and zebras and buffalo roam, and the alligators were convulsing and going like this with their jaws uh, and dying off because there was such a drought and they were getting disease or whatever. But when the rains came, Tarvi flooded. It was biblical the way that it flooded, you know what I mean? Biblical proportion, because the flooding was like overwhelming. Like all of a sudden, Patch got stuck on an island. This one girl lion that was taking care of her cubs. Patch got stuck on an island. And then when she left to go hunting, she got a zebra that night and she ate it that night. And then she came back, the girl lion, to her cubs. But then Arthur, the other lion, met up with Patch because they got separated before. And then a long journey back to reunite with their family. And then Arthur, the other male lion, got with Patch, the girl lion. And it was amazing to see, they can have a sense of smell and they know who's who in the pack and stuff, and they can identify that, so they're really smart. But all I'm saying is that I'm glad I'm in Tomahawk. It's like a breath of fresh air. It's like freedom from Merrill, the grips of the hellish, like Merrill or whatever. But basically, I got the Words of Ways. I'm getting out to my brothers are getting this book, and so is my mom. So I got 4 books with me, and this is the Words of Ways. You can check it out on type in iUniverse, number for iUniverse. Type in number and then iUniverse, I and then universe, and then they'll get you the number. On Google, when you research it on Google, it'll give you the number, and then that number you can call, and you press 8 for book orders. Press 8 for book orders, and then they'll get you to the website. They'll get you to the website, because I don't know exactly what website, because there's 3 people that said 3 different websites that work to get to this book. So I don't know which website is the correct one. I gotta eventually call them and set that up, but not until Monday because it's the weekend. Yeah, I got a lot more to this podcast. It has to go for 7 minutes, but this is it. The Words of Ways has a girl holding a moon on it. It's a really good book. You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, eventually I want to travel the world and go to Africa and see the lions and everything there. And it's very risky, but I'll be in a Jeep and everything, and hopefully it'll be all worked out with the tour guides and everything, where I could see these lions and everything one day, and I could do this, because that would be awesome to see all these nature, in Africa, in the Qatarvi, you know what I mean? I'll go to Qatarvi and see that, that'd be awesome. But it's wilderness, pure wilderness in Qatarvi. It's a lot of wildernesses in that area, but it's in Tanzania. But it's just a section of Tanzania that Qatarvi's in. And it's so amazing that, that not many other lion packs are around to claim the territory. So their pack, the pride of the male and female lions, the pride of that is sticking around because they never get kicked out, because hierarchy could, they could go through battles for land. That's how they do it. They battle it out for land. And sometimes the lions die in battles over the land and everything, but then you'll see which one has to leave and move on to go to new land and everything. But then the other ones get the land and the luxury of having the buffalo and zebra and all this, good jing, you know, uh, food supply for the animals and Guatarvi, for the predators. You know what I mean? And then there's boar, wild boar, and everything like that they got too. But when the drought happened, when the drought was happening and there wasn't the flood yet of all the rainwater, there, there was tough times. Food was scarce, and a lot of things had to just bear out the time that they had to do it. But a dead hippo, I remember the lions eating a dead hippo that show, and because they had nothing else to eat, and it was rotten, but it was still food because they were hungry, and I could tell because their stomachs are real skinny. But when they done eating something, their stomachs are like really big. The lions' stomachs get really big because they can naturally eat a lot. Because they don't know where the next meal's coming from, so they fill their stomachs to the brim, to where they're round as a ball. You know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say is that it's pretty cool watching that show. It's pretty interesting. So one day, hopefully, I'll have the luxury of going to see it for myself. You know what I mean? In the real life happenings of that. So Neil loves, worships, honors, and obeys the divine princess forever. Amen. And I love you, divine princess. And the divine princesses, I hope you're doing amazing. And divine goddesses, I hope you're doing amazing. And remember, the divine princesses and divine goddesses are like this. They're one. They're basically the same thing. I just use the word divine goddess or divine princess because the princesses are like, and goddesses are the same thing basically. It's just the way I describe it. You know what I mean? They're both royalty in my eyes. So all I'm going to say is I'm going to end the podcast off with that. Look at that tree behind me, that white pine. That's why I stand off to the side of it, because it's a really good white pine. I always looked up at it over the years, when I was in Tomahawk. And like the land, you know what I mean? I never get sick of Tomahawk for some reason. Well, sometimes I do, like when I'm in Tomahawk for like years and years and never getting out of it. But it's awesome that I get to go experience the land again from being stuck in Merrill for so long, because I don't like Merrill that much. The landscape of it, I just don't like it as much. The landscape and the people there, not that great of energy of people. They're just negative Marvins. You know what I mean? I don't like that. But anyway, people in Tomahawk are like a little bit more positive. The energy is more positive here, and I feel more pure at heart. Here. So anyway, I love you, girls. And I got a free coffee. A girl paid for it at the gas station, because I told her that I don't get paid till the 1st. She says, I'll buy it for you and have a good day. And like, yeah, sure. Yeah. She was like really like happy about it. You know what I mean? And I was so thankful, and I wanted to ask her out, but I don't always get to be in Tomahawk. So maybe she could, if she has a vehicle, she could swing by my apartment one of these days. You know what I mean? And maybe she'll want to see me there. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, it's just if I did get a girlfriend, that'd be awesome, because she could come see me in Merrill and give me rides to Tomahawk, and we could always have good times in Tomahawk. You know what I mean? Because Merrill, you could have good times in Merrill too, but just making our own fun. But I think it's more fun to be in Tomahawk, just because the energies are just way better and more pure. You know what I mean? There's more trees and like Bradley Park and everything, and places to go where it's less city and more woodlands. You know what I mean? But anyway, have a good day, divine princess, and I love you. And this is how it is. Okay. Have a good day. All right. Bye.